Okay, so I wanted to do a video about coming out. It's kind of unprecedented, but I've been watching a lot of videos that I stumbled upon by Russ Marine, and I thought, well, I might as well share my coming out story as well, um, because coming out is such an integral part of the lives of gay men, of lesbians, of bisexual people, of transgender people. That point where you stand up and you say, this is who I am, and I'm going to tell people because I'm not ashamed of who I am. And you shouldn't be. You know, why should you be ashamed of who you are? So, I came out when I was 17, which I think that was probably the right age for me. I finished school by that point. Being in Britain, we finished school at 16, so I'd known for a long time. I'd already known since I was about 10, give or take. So I'd had 7 years to kind of process what was going on, not to come to terms with it necessarily, but to be comfortable with it, because it took a long time. I knew that I was gay before I knew what gay was, if that makes any sense, because in my household it wasn't really discussed. There wasn't any real anti-gay feeling, no homophobia, but at the same time it wasn't discussed, it just wasn't there. So I sort of found out, as I suppose quite a few people do, through the media. But anyway, 17, and the hardest part, I think, was coming out to the first person that I came out to, who was my best friend, and I made him guess, which, looking back, seems kind of silly, but I told him that I had to tell him something that was quite big, quite important, and I kind of froze up when it came to actually getting the words out. So I made him guess, and he went through all this long list of ridiculous big things, and when he actually got the right one, and I said, well, yeah, you know, that's it, his response was, so it's kind of an anticlimax, I suppose, because in my mind I'd built it up into this huge issue, and to suddenly then be told, well, who cares? It was kind of like, oh. So several months later I came out to my mum. My parents had divorced by this point, so it was kind of a separate thing. And that was kind of very spur of the moment. The way it happened was, it was literally a case of, do you want some coffee? Oh, by the way, I'm gay. I think it had kind of it had turned into that one sort of a now or never sort of thing, because I thought, well, I thought to myself, I'll do it when there's a good time, but then I thought, well, how is there going to be a perfect moment to sort of just sort of go, ah, gay, hi, you know? There isn't really. So I, figured I would just throw it out there, and yeah, okay, she was shocked, because, as you might be able to tell, I'm not exactly the screaming queen sort of person, guy, whatever. So she had no idea. Looking back, yeah, okay, there was some signs there, but she had no idea. And so yeah, she was kind of shocked, and then she was worried because she would thought that I would face a lifetime of prejudice. She thought that I would end up with HIV, not not in a derogatory way towards all gay men or anything. It was just sort of a worst case scenario thing that she was going through. And then she thought that after I'd come out, I was going to immediately turn into this sort of screaming Queen Liberace Richard Simmons character. But after a while, of course, I was still the same person. It kind of dawned on her that it didn't really make a difference. And lo and behold, a few months after that, I'm standing there in a nightclub. It was a specific gay evening that they had in this particular nightclub. My straight best friend is on one side of me. He's looking at all the straight women that have gone there with all their gay friends and having a whale of a time. And I look over, and on the dance floor, there is just this really sort of butch lesbian and my mum. So yeah, that was that. She started going out clubbing, and then several years later, funnily enough, she came out as a lesbian. So it all works out. My dad, I told him a birthday card because, to be fair, we hadn't got on for a long time. So it was almost a flippant thing, really. And we haven't spoken for years. Not really because of me being gay, just because we never got along. We never saw eye to eye. And the whole side of my dad's family were in the Stone Age, really. My grandmother refused point blank to believe it. I'm not quite sure, was I supposed to have a gangbang in her front living room? I don't know, but she didn't believe it. And my aunties, well, my auntie, she had a particular thing that she said which stuck in my mind, which kind of sums up her idea about gay people, which was, I couldn't be gay because I didn't look like Freddie Mercury. I didn't have a handlebar moustache. I wasn't head to toe in leather. How times change. So therefore, I couldn't be gay. Okay. The whole sleeping with men thing. Oh, that's just by the by, of course. But since then, everyone I have told, whether they be man, woman, old, young, straight, gay, whatever, everyone seems to be fine with it. I haven't ever really come across some prejudice, apart from one time which I will mention, which was in a bar on Christmas Eve. It was quite a small, quiet pub in Britain, of course. I'd gone out for a drink with some friends. I'd got pretty totaled. I'd had about 10 pints of beer, which is British beer, so it's kind of stronger than American beer. And there was one guy who was looking for a fight. He'd been abusing various people all throughout the evening, mainly racially. The mind boggles. But then, as I was leaving, I had to walk past him, and I decided to head out shortly before my friends. Everyone was getting the jackets and coats and what have you. And I'd gone on. And as I walked past him, he sort of drunkenly slurred, "Oi, are you a puff?" To which I replied, in my wonderful inebriated judgment, "Yeah, thanks for asking." Okay, perhaps not the best idea. But he followed me outside and punched me square on in the mouth. Thankfully, I was too drunk to really feel it, so I just stood there and laughed at him. Yeah. But anyway, his friends dragged him back inside, and 2 days later I'd gone back to the same bar because I'm a firm believer in I'm not going to let someone stop me from doing what I want to do. And funny enough, the same guy, when he was sober, then came up and apologised. I don't know what the moral of that story is. Maybe if you know that you're going to be a violent son of a bitch when you drink, don't drink. But anyway, that's my story. And to all you guys and girls out there who are thinking about coming out, it is the best thing that you can do. It really, really is. Some people won't like it, some people will be fine with it, and you know what? If some people don't like it, they are not worth having in your life. It's that simple. So take care, everyone, and feel free to comment, subscribe, whatever. Hopefully I shall hear from you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.